For me, the aura's not there anymore. Very dangerous fighter sitting right here for sure, no doubt. But I see a man, you know, you guys in the crowd, cheer it up, have fun. But I see a man here in front of me that I defeated, and I know I can defeat again.
Today's topic is quite interesting. We decided to record the cases when the stars of the world's best league tasted defeat for the first time while performing in the promotion. Just in case, we mean their first loss in the UFC. If some of the fighters already had a loss in their professional career, it has nothing to do with the theme of today's video. We hope for your understanding. Number 10. Jon Jones.
I fought hard to try to get that one taken off his record, but, you know, I haven't been able to get it done. It's horrible. It's a referee that I said a million times should not even be in the octagon reffing.
Let's start today's compilation with the legendary Jon Jones. As we know, the greatest fighter of all time broke into the UFC back in 2008 and began running over all of his opponents. Who would have known that he would become a prisoner of his own style and desire to show his best?
It has the potential to be an absolute battle, an all-out slugfest. But I'm looking to get in there and get out, get that first round knockout. Tonight is just a big opportunity for me to shock the world. I want to show everyone what I could do and give them a devastating knockout.
In December of 2009, Bones shared the octagon with Matt Hamill. It was an ordinary and regular fight for our hero, where he was tearing his opponent apart. But he made a huge mistake. He attacked with 12 to 6 elbows. Steve Mazzagatti, the referee who was constantly critiqued by Dana White, immediately stopped the fight and disqualified Jon, handing him the only loss in his professional career.
I'm not worried about that, you know. Hopefully my manager can take care of all that stuff. Definitely took a lot of pride in being undefeated. I'm so proud to be a martial artist, and I strive so hard to be the best that I can be. But everything happens for a reason. So.
Number 9. Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah, it's everything I dreamed of. I've pictured facing Dominic for quite some time since I was a teenager, and I'm 2 days away from that.
Cody Garbrandt came into the UFC on a streak of 5 victories. He added 5 more to his resume already inside the company and earned a title shot in 23 months. He was young, hungry, and ready to climb to the top as never before. In December of 2016, No Love shared the cage with Dominator at UFC 207 and became the new bantamweight champion. And then this happened.
Way before the fight was announced, way before I was world champion, TJ was, I always felt threatened by me. I felt that as soon as I came out to the team, he was always just running his mouth saying he couldn't wait to spar me and do this and that. I already was pre-warned with how TJ is as a teammate. The added, drama and to finally put this to rest. I don't feel like I'm carrying any of the drama with me. I feel like he's carrying the whole bag of drama since he's made that decision to leave and how he went about it as a man. I've had an amazing camp. It's been fun. I'm so thankful to finally be healthy.
Cody Garbrandt couldn't fully enjoy his victory and the belt on his waist. His very first defense happened to be against TJ Dillashaw, whom he lost to in the second round via knockout, receiving his first and, as history taught us, not the last loss in his career.
Hats off to TJ. He battled back, from losing his title, and he was a hungry man, but I still am the better fighter in there, and I'll show that in the rematch.
He breaks down! Dillashaw trying to finish this fight! And it! Wow! TJ Dillashaw has done it! Dillashaw now!
Number 8. Justin Gaethje.
I'm a violent motherfucker. I'm the most violent lightweight on this planet, and I will prove that.
No, you're...
The young highlight arrived in the UFC in July of 2017. Back then, his record was 17-0, and he was looking to fight Michael Johnson. After a spectacular victory in the debut, the world's best league decided not to offer him any mid-level opponents and gave him a former lightweight champion, Eddie Alvarez.
I'm 18-0 at 15 knockouts. Has anybody in the history of MMA fighting had 15 knockouts in their first 18 fights?
In the clash at UFC 218, the prospect felt for the first time what he was putting through his previous opponents himself. Alvarez happened to be a lot tougher than Highlight's previous victims, which helped him to withstand his onslaught and find a victory in the 3rd round.
He's tough. He's tough. He's a warrior. I bring it out of people. I bring it out of people. I've been telling people I need to start smiling to my opponents and shaking hands and just being nice. So then when the bell rings, I catch them off guard, because I used to catch people off guard, but everyone's ready now. They know I'm coming, full fury. And yeah, he was ready. He was so in shape, and his cardio was on point. I couldn't break him. I broke 18 people in a row, and on my 19th fight, I found someone that I could not break, and I enjoyed it. I appreciated it, and all of the above.
Down goes Gaethje! Gaethje might be out! That's it! That is it! The Underground King, Eddie Alvarez!
Unbelievable! Gaethje's trying to get up, and
Number 7. Israel Adesanya.
First of all, I just want to say something to the UFC fighters, the personnel and personnel backstage, to the downwards and upwards. I see you guys creeping on my Instagram. Don't think I don't see you watching me, and I've been watching you. But then when you run up on me, you act like you don't know me. Boy, you know who I am now!
Avatar joined the world's best league when he had a streak of 11 victories and 0 losses. In just a couple of years, he successfully secured his spot at the top of the middleweight division and not just became the champion, but already defended his belt 2 times and extended his streak to 20 victories. In March of 2021, he tried to move up in weight and went up against the legendary Polish power.
But yeah, middleweight's my division, so I ruled that with an iron black fist. So yeah, I'm gonna go back down and handle business there, depending on the lay of the land. But also I look ahead and see. I peek ahead. I don't look too far ahead because I've got this Viking in front of me. So yeah, I'm looking straight at him. But yeah, I peek ahead and just see what the lay of the land is and how I can change history again.
As time has shown, the last stylebender failed to conquer the 2nd gold in the organization because in the conclusion of 5 rounds, he lost to Jan Blachowicz via unanimous decision. It was Izzy's first loss not only in the UFC, but in his MMA career in general.
Losses are part of life, and losses is something I deal with occasionally. This is my first one in MMA, but yeah, as they say, it is what it is.
Number 6. Daniel Cormier.
Jon Jones, you can't run away from me forever. I'm the kid at the wrestling tournament that is always in your bracket. No matter where you go, boy, I'm coming. You better hurry because I'm getting better.
Just like Adesanya, DC arrived in the major promotion with 11 victories on his resume. To get the title shot, he needed to earn 4 more victories, after which he called out Jon Jones and started one of the greatest rivalries in the history of the sport.
I believe that when we get into that cage, Jon Jones is going to walk there with his title. I'm going to start pulling at that man's title for the first 2 rounds, and he'll hold on to it. But right around the 3rd round, 4th round, Jon will open his hands, let his grip go, and say, Daniel, take it. This is too hard. I don't want to deal with it. I'm going to push that man to a place that he's never been in his entire life, and I will make Jon Jones quit. Sunday morning, Joe Rogan, you will wake up and you will say, how Daniel make this look so easy?
However, we know that the first fight between Cormier and Bones went the entire distance and ended with a unanimous decision victory, not in the contender's favor. Cormier suffered his first loss to 15 victories on his record and very briefly commented on the outcome of the fight.
I don't know how to judge a fight, so I know I lost, and Jon won. That's pretty much all it boils down to. It doesn't matter if it's closer or if it's not. He won the fight.
Number 5. Francis Ngannou.
Francis Ngannou has the world record for the most powerful punch. His punch is the equivalent to 96 horsepower, which is equal to getting hit by a Ford Escort going as fast as it can. And it's more powerful than a 12-pound sledgehammer swung full force from overhead. Holy shit.
Before debuting in the UFC, the Predator had only 1 loss in his career. In his 2nd fight, he lost to Zumana Cisse by a decision. However, in the world's best league, the Cameroonian was not losing to anybody. Or more so, nobody could even imagine what could possibly stop such a formidable knockout machine.
He's really intimidated. He know what's gonna happen. I know he's just make it proud there, like, yes, I'm the charm, I'm this, I'm that, but he know the guy that he's gonna fight. He know that he's gonna be the fight that he never had in his career.
As we know now, it happened to be Stipe Miocic, who was set to defend his heavyweight championship against Francis Ngannou at UFC 220. The champion did a great job and outworked Ngannou with pure experience, as the latter, due to his immaturity, naively thought that he could catch such a professionally prepared athlete with a wild shot.
I think tonight I learned that I never learned in this sport since 4 years. I underestimate my opponent, and I discovered some new part of this sport and that I ignored about it.
Number 4. Jose Aldo.
That's the emotional side of fighting, like the emotional side of losses. Like when you see guys just weeping in their locker room, and like remember the hardest one for me was Aldo after McGregor knocked him out. And he was just in his locker room just weeping like, God damn, that dude.
Before securing his spot among the most dangerous fighters of all time, the King of Rio had only one loss in his professional career. Back in 2005, he lost to Luciano Azevedo via submission choke at the local event, after which he racked up a streak of 18 victories. The Brazilian was undefeated in the UFC, held the featherweight championship, and hasn't lost in 10 years. Who could stop him?
Little Brazilian. Ooh, vamos here. What you got to say now, face to face, man to man? What you got to say? You got nothing to say. You've got nothing to say face to face. Give me that. Special in that.
Exactly. The notorious Irishman, who at that time had an uncrushable aura, sensationally knocked Aldo out in 13 seconds. Because on that night, Jose wasn't as focused as usual. He was overwhelmed by emotions, which eventually led to his first loss in the UFC.
Relaxed and smiling. Oh! Disruptor! Is the new UFC featherweight champion of the world!
Number 3. Kamaru Usman.
Well, it's how crazy the sport is. I was talking, it's what makes this sport the greatest sport in the world, you know? That you can sit through 4 rounds and 4 minutes, and that can happen.
In the past, the Nigerian Nightmare also had one single slip because of inexperience. In his second professional performance, he gave up his back to Jose Caceres and lost via submission choke in the first round. But after that, Usman did not let himself make such mistakes again and amassed a streak of 19 victories, all which defending his welterweight championship 5 times. In August of 2022, he gave a rematch to Rocky at UFC 278.
Yeah, I mean, talk is talk. You know, there's one thing that got me here, and that's, you know, my work ethic. Success only drives me to work even harder. So if they're thinking that I'm slipping, it's gonna be a bad night for them.
It's hard to tell for sure what went wrong on that night. Kamaru was dominating the contender and confidently winning the fight. It was less than a minute before Bruce Buffer was supposed to say, "And still," and the belt would stay on his waist. If it wasn't for that fateful high kick from Edwards, which started a campaign called Headshot Dead, that's how the Nigerian suffered his first defeat in the UFC.
But that is not the cloth from which he is cut. I mean, that is a degenerate.
Number 2. Conor McGregor.
Another day for me. One pulls out, another one steps in. I'm used to it. I was just giggling at his little soft body. I've never seen a skinny guy. How can a fat guy be so skinny at the same time? It amuses me, but I'm looking forward to go in there, put the martial arts back into the game.
The notorious one wasn't a perfect fighter either when he came into the world's best league. He had 2 old losses on his record at the very beginning of his career, but it didn't break him. The Irishman kept on training and making progress in strides. By March of 2016, he had a streak of 15 victories, 7 of which were earned in the UFC. After a sensational win over Jose Aldo, which we already talked about, McGregor put his sights on the second belt. However, at the very last moment, everything changed, and his opponent was replaced by Stockton's impudent son.
He's like a little cholo gangster from the hood, but at the same time he coaches kids jiu-jitsu on a Sunday morning and goes on bike rides with the elderly. He makes gun signs with the right hand and animal balloons with the left hand. So you're a credit to the community. Fuck you. Fuck you. I don't give a what you say, motherfucker. Yeah, thugging on mine, motherfucker. What you got?
One of the biggest fights in the history of the sport, the UFC and martial arts in general. It lasted for only 9 minutes and 12 seconds, at the end of which an incredibly durable chin of Nate Diaz took all of Conor's shots, and then the Stocktonian choked out the exhausted Irishman and handed him his first loss inside the UFC.
Bitter pill to swallow. I took a shot. I went at it. I feel I was simply inefficient with my energy. Usually I fight a man in the division I am champion in, and they crumble under those shots. But Nate took them very well. This is the fight business. It's another day. I'll come back.
Now he's got the back now. That's it. He's got the shot. Diaz. He's out. He has done it. It is all over. Nate Diaz beats Conor McGregor.
Number 1. Alexander Volkanovski.
Islam Makhachev is the best fighter, not in lightweight. He's a pound for pound #1 fighter in right now, today. And you know, it's like what interesting. Charles Oliveira is #2 pound for pound, right? He finished Charles. Now is our plan. Fly all the way to Australia and fight in pound for pound king backyard with Volkanovski. Let's do it.
Not that long ago, Alexander Volkanovski was one of the best fighters in the world and the king of the pound-for-pound list. He did not know the bitter taste of defeat in the UFC, and that one in his loss column belonged to Corey Nelson, who stopped the Australian back in May of 2013. Since then, the Great One racked up 22 victories in a row, 4 successful title defenses, and overall looked unbeatable in the near future, right until the Dagestani beast appeared on the radar.
That's going to be one hard thing. Getting me down is going to be a problem. If you do, I'm bouncing right back up, and it's going to be stand up most of the way through. So
the first fight between Volkanovski and Makhachev happened in February of 2023 at UFC 284. Undoubtedly, it wasn't a clear domination from the lightweight king. It wasn't the case that Volkanovski looked helpless or beaten up and exhausted, but the fact remains, Islam won the majority of the rounds and gave him his first defeat in the UFC by a unanimous decision.
He didn't respect my wrestling grappling, and I guess maybe I didn't respect his striking enough either, because he landed some shots. So fair play to both of us.
At first, many found this decision controversial. After all, Volkanovski was not a total loser on that night. That's what most of the comments were about on social media. However, in October, Islam Makhachev put this rivalry to rest once and for all. Leave your opinion in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the new videos, and of course, hit the like button if you enjoyed this one. See you soon.